Hi everybody, my name's Cam and I'm here in the Vexo studio and we're going to be talking about Tiny Whoop kits. Now, when I first got started with FPV and Tiny Whoops, the ready to fly kits that were available left a lot to be desired. And if you wanted to get into it and build your own kit up, you had to source individual goggles, transmitters, and the drones themselves, which could be a bit of a hassle. Beta FPV in the year 2025 has made things a little easier by putting everything we need into one comprehensive kit that makes things really easy for a beginner. Let's go ahead and crack this open and take a look at what the Aquila16 has to offer. So we have the case here. We've taken it out of the main box and we're going to go ahead and start opening this. See what we've got inside. All right, check out the layout here. We've got ourselves quite a number of components in here. We're going to go ahead and get started with the user manual and what looks to be the spares. So in this little plastic bag, we got ourselves our user manual for the Aquila16, which we should all be reading. And we've got ourselves a screwdriver, a really solid prop removal tool, and a few extra propellers. I think there's also the USB dongle that can be used to set up the Aquila16 on the configurator. We'll have to take a look at that a little later. Okay, let's get started on this side here. So on this side, first thing we see here is the Beta FPV goggles. Has a record button here, that's pretty nifty. A place to charge it with a USB port, USB-C specifically. All right, and our antenna that we can deploy here. And a slot on this side for the SD card. All right, these actually feel really good too. They've got a nicer, like, glossy finish here on the sides. It's actually quite nice for a set of goggles you'd get from a kit. One of the nicer ones I've seen personally. Okay, and on this side, we've also got the transmitter. Okay. It's got some gimbal protectors here for the sticks, made out of silicone. That's pretty nice. Protect your stuff. Some little gimbals here. It's shaped like a game controller, so it's going to be a lot more comfortable for people who like smaller transmitters. There's a lot of switches on here that are going to relate to our different rates and are going to impact how the drone's going to behave. This is a pretty decent transmitter, not the highest quality, but it's definitely going to get the job done, and it's a great place to get started. All right, let's move on to the other side. Might as well crack open the drone here. So here it is, the Aquila16. And first thing that I see here on the bottom, which is a little different from pretty much any other drone you're going to see out there, is it has an optical flow sensor. This allows it to basically have position hold when you're close enough to the ground and in the right mode. That's a really cool feature that you don't see on a lot of FPV drones, and it's one of the modes that add features that makes the Aquila16 perfect for a beginner. So other things that I'm noticing here is a very, very lightweight frame, so it should bounce off when you hit something. The camera, from what I understand, has very limited tilt change that you can do on it, so you're pretty much locked in at this camera angle here, which is perfect for a beginner because you don't really want an aggressive camera. And even for professionals who may be practicing their cinematography skills, most of the time when you're flying, you're going to have a lower camera tilt with a slower flying drone. All right, and it's got some 1102 18,000 kV motors here, so relatively decent sized. All right, this is looking great. And last pocket over here is a little mesh bag with a zipper, and inside we're going to find our two 1100 mAh batteries. You can see that they are running the BT 2.0 connector, and it has a little pigtail here that's going to assist you with charging, and this cable can also be used to allow you to run some other batteries. So here are our 2 batteries right here. Also inside the bag is our battery charger / battery tester. There's 2 ports here at the bottom that, depending on which one you use, allows us to test the voltage and or charge the battery. There's also a USB-C plug that comes with it that is going to power the charger. Okay, so that's pretty much everything. We're gonna go ahead and get this drone set up and we're gonna start getting ready to fly it. Okay, let's go ahead and set up the Aquila16. We're gonna start by turning on our transmitter, which is gonna take a double press of the power button here. Press and hold. That's showing that we are ready to pair. Blue lights, we're ready. And then we're gonna go ahead and take our battery, and we would normally go ahead and plug it into the drone, but before we do that, first I'm gonna test where the battery voltage is at, because it's really important that we don't fly on too low of a voltage, otherwise we could damage the battery. To do this, we're gonna take our battery, our pigtail, and we're gonna combine the 2. Down here at the bottom, we can see our battery port. We're gonna go ahead and plug that into the receiving end of the battery plug, and then we're gonna take our voltage checker / charger, and we're going to select the testing side, plugging in the input side of our pigtail into the testing port, and we're going to see that is at 3.86 volts. Now, typically this voltage would mean, okay, it's time to come in and charge our battery so that we can be up at 4.35. That's a full battery for this type. Now, for today, we're just going to show you what it's like to plug it in. And we're going to do that by matching up the little aligning pins here with this part of the drone. And we're going to place it here on top, nice and gentle. And then we're going to push it forward in one quick motion. Now it's looking to connect. We see that the solid teal is showing that we are connected. And we're then gonna go ahead and turn on our goggles, which means we gotta come over to this switch on the side, switch it on, and we are on the correct channel right now. But in case we weren't, this goggle has a really neat feature where if you press and hold the S button here, it will scan for the correct channel. And something about FPV drones is that there are multiple different channels that the video transmitter can broadcast on. And it's important to be on the right channel so that way there's no unforeseen disconnections. All right, so let's go over the transmitter here and the different switches and what they do. So first off, a good rule of practice is to start with all of your switches pointed down. That will ensure that nothing unexpected happens. And starting over here on this side, this is our arm switch. So once the aircraft is plugged in and ready to go, we'll be able to flip this switch and we'll get the propellers to start spinning. This switch up here is our different modes. So we have at the bottom normal mode, where we're gonna have the optical flow sensor that's gonna assist us in flight. We have sports mode, which is a little faster, and then we have manual mode, which allows us to get close to the professional FPV acro modes. On this side, we then have our different rates. Rates means how quickly our inputs are going to cause the aircraft to rotate around its different axes. And we have low, medium, and high. This switch, all the way here on the side, we just don't touch that button. That causes the channel on the video transmitter to be switched. And you don't want to do that because it's a one-way button. You're gonna have to keep going all the way till you get back to your proper channel. Or if you want to be lazy about it, you can just press the scan button. BETAFPV has included a configuration software that you can go in and change the overall tune for the drone, which just changes how the drone feels when it flies. We were able to find a smoother tune for the drone by copying down these numbers. If you go ahead and change the drone to these numbers, you should experience a little better flight feel. And if you don't like it, you can always go back to stock. With its slow, long flight times and its optical flow sensor located here on the bottom, this drone is made for people who are trying to get into FPV for the first time and really don't know too much about it and want something that's just going to be simple and easy to fly. And in its stability modes, this drone does handle pretty decently, and for its ability to just hover and hold its own position, it is great for people who are just getting into FPV. Not only is this a great beginner drone, but it's the fact that it also comes with a complete kit. Being able to have the transmitter, the goggles, all in one nice carrying case along with some extra batteries and a charger means that you have everything you need to get started located right here in this box. Thank you so much for watching our video today, everybody. My name's Cam. I want to say thanks again to BETAFPV for sending us the Aquila16. And for any newbies who are interested in getting into FPV, tell me something that kind of scares you about FPV, and we'll see it down in the comments below. Anyway, see you guys next time.
That scares you?
Like, intimidates you, like that you're concerned about by getting into FPV. Because I think there's a lot of stuff that you have to get into, right? It's a kind of intimidating. It's a large amount of information to kind of have to digest. And to some people it can be scary, especially if you're just starting.